Hello, this is Artsy Wisdom. My name's Diane. Thanks for coming by. We're going out this evening to a friend's house for dinner, and their family's in town, so I just thought I would jump on and discuss the eclipse. Barbara, I think, had asked about the eclipse, and I had talked about it before, but it was really confusing, so I apologize. I'm going to try and explain it with a little bit more clarity. But first, if you like my channel, thank you to all of those new subscribers. I'm so excited to have you here. New viewers, anybody just stopping by, thank you. If you don't know me, I have images that pop in my head. I can travel in my mind's eye to other situations, places. I look into world events, current events, politics even. But for right now, let's get started with this eclipse situation. All right, so if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you're just stopping by, thank you. Hopefully I can put the link in correctly. I have my chart right here on my computer, so I'm going to refer to it periodically. And so if I'm looking away, that's what I'm doing. Now, what I've said before, the eclipse, it is traveling across the country, and it's in this direction, going from southwest to northeast, and it's like 2:20 in the afternoon, I think, Central Daylight Savings Time. So, depending on where you are in the country, that will be the peak of it. Those of you who are directly underneath the path may, there's no set in stone rules about this. You may not even notice it, but there's definitely going to be a darkening of the sky, and it lasts for about 4.5 minutes. When the solar eclipse is when the moon eclipses the sun, the earth, moon, sun. So the moon is really close at this point, this orbit, so it gets where it's bigger, and so it blocks out the sun. It's right in the right orbit, and it's right in that path. So that's what that's about. Rules our emotions in astrology. So because the moon is new and dark, and the sun is dark, we almost go through a temporary pause of revamping, like I said, with Mercury. It's new. This is refresh. It's like a refresh rate, a reboot. That's what you hit the refresh button. That's what it feels like. So there's several things going on. Tomorrow, Mercury goes retrograde. No, I'm sorry, the 1st, which is Monday. Tomorrow is Easter, which is signifying this new beginning, springtime. I feel like it's very significant with the eclipse. We've got Mercury going retrograde. And when Mercury goes retrograde on Monday, we're already feeling the shadow, which is starting to make things a little bit more confusing when Mercury is retrograde, depending on your chart. The energy is just for things to go afoul. They don't always, maybe something's missing. Communications aren't always accurate. Emails don't arrive. Packages get lost. A lot of stuff like that. Or actually, cars, computer stuff can break down more easily. So, but Mercury is going to go direct. And this is an excellent time for reviewing, revising, renewing, re-upping, just any of the RE words. And you look at that part of in your life where you might have gotten something and you need to fix it, and you want to, I don't know what it could be, maybe something you bought that is used and you want to redo it, revamp it, remodel, whatever, like something you want to hang on your wall. Perhaps you go to a thrift store and you buy something and you want to redo it. Perfect time for that. So we have the Mercury retrograde starting. We're in the shadow right now because this is Saturday. So we're in the shadow, and that energy has already begun. It's not full on Mercury retrograde, but it's already begun. And it lasts till The 25th will be the end of the retrograde, and then the energy, the shadow on the other end is usually for another week or so. So like till May 1st-ish. Okay, so we got Mercury retrograde, right? That's the beginning. We also have Jupiter and Uranus that have been playing tag in Taurus, which is a manifesting sign. The sign of the farmer, the sign of growing, making things happen, being stable, stick-to-itiveness. Jupiter's expanding and Uranus is helping things happen, giving the push, the energy, just all of a sudden insight to do this thing. So you've got Mercury retrograde, which is helping you revise, and you've got this other energy. Then we have the eclipse, the new moon at 19 degrees Aries. Now, if you have your chart, great. Look where that is in the house. We have 12 houses in an astrology chart. Everybody's got one. And you find out where that 19 degrees is. That's where the emphasis may be for this new moon. New moon, this total solar eclipse. It's such a great opportunity because it's in Aries, which is about starting. Aries is the number one sign in our zodiac, and it is about starting afresh. New moon is about starting afresh. We've got the Mercury retrograde where we're revising and redoing. Also possible to redo something and start it over again, renew it. And we've got Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, which is manifesting. It's about creating something real in the world, even if it's just something tangible, that you want to shift in your life. Maybe it's about money, maybe it's about building something in your home or whatever that is. That energy is there. So we've got those things happening. Aries, new moon, solar eclipse, which is the big one. But then you've got the energy of Mercury retrograde and then Jupiter and Uranus. Plus we have Saturn conjunct Mars, which it happens once a year about, depending on where it is. But because it's happening now, that is another driver for you to possibly create something, because Mars is the aggressor, Mars is the activator, Mars rules Aries, right? So Aries is the sign where the solar eclipse is in, and Mars rules it. And when a planet rules it, whatever happens to that planet, it also activates the other aspects that are happening in the chart. So because Saturn is there, Saturn is the teacher, the lesson maker, the kind of restrictor, the responsible planet where you have to take care of business or else you're going to get in trouble. It forces you to look at stuff that needs to get done. And Mars and Saturn are in Pisces, which is a very creative, soft, spiritual sign. It's also the sign of creative musicians, artists, people religion too, and it goes in that place. So Mars and Saturn are in Pisces, also initiating maybe a need or a thought or inspiration to meditate, increase your spiritual practice. Think about what your inner world needs. Because you've got the outer world with Taurus happening, and then you've got the inner world with Saturn and Mars and Pisces really giving you that energy to start something new. And as I said, it's in a part of your chart. I can put a link to Cafe Astrology. You can go in there and you can make your chart really easily. I have my website, but it's so old, and I apologize. I'm redoing my website to hook up to the YouTube channel. My old website it's there, but you can go there, but it has so many things that I need to update on it. But my point is that get your birth chart, your natal chart, that's the same thing. And you see where your rising sign, you'll see where your sun is, you'll see where your moon is. And if any of those are aspected, then that part of your chart will be activated. And then you can use that to understand what is possible to start, begin afresh, renew, revamp. Spiritually, the energy when I contemplate the chart is Venus also just, I don't want to complicate it more, but their energy with Venus and Neptune also signify this mix of spiritual energy and caring for one another, but with a kind of a little bit of a drive that may come out in the world more pointed. I think everybody is tired. That's my impression of this chart right now. It's an awareness. This situation between now and for the next few months, this is going to be an awareness that we're all going to be very acutely aware of, I guess. And we will be sensing a shift. And it really depends your understanding of your consciousness around you, or what you want to be conscious of, or how we're connected. We become more and more aware of this because we also have, I've been talking about this multiple times, is Pluto's leaving Capricorn. It's tiptoeing into Aquarius, and it's going to stay there for many years. And that's a shift where we are going to focus more on our humanity, more in the community, technology, using our skills, not just our brains, but our abilities, our spiritual abilities, all to help one another. Of course, not everybody will be doing that, depending on where you are in your consciousness and your world. But that's another shift. So this solar eclipse, I believe, especially because it's going over Texas, from Mexico through Texas, I think through Ohio and up even into the Maritimes, I think, or parts of Canada. It's really going to touch on a lot of trigger points. You know, when you go to the chiropractor and they do trigger point massage, it's like that. All these little things along the way, and it's going to be, oh, okay, that's going to happen. So there may be some outcroppings or little bursts of energy around certain areas, and there may be a lot of messiness until it gets solved. But I think the energy is shifting. Really, I'm really positive about this. It doesn't mean there won't be any conflicts, because there's going to be conflicts, especially having to do with immigration and the shifts we're all changing about, people moving around the world. It's a big change, and it's happening more and more, not just in the States, but in Canada, in Europe. They've got it. It's everywhere. So we don't have the market on it. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's a really good opportunity to start something new. Think about feel about what you're ready to move on from, because it is energetically really powerful. And you can manifest it. It can be a spiritual thing that can be manifested into a regular daily ritual, daily activity. For me, I think it's about me becoming more vocal, because it's in my third house. That's about expressing myself, writing, creating, communicating, that kind of thing. It's also in my second house of money and resources. So maybe there's something that I could do that can shift about that and change how I make money, or how I think of or value my resources, that kind of thing. That's just my example. So those of you who are directly under the path may feel it more than others, but I would say use the energy in general. It's really shifting, and I feel as I sit with it, I feel super positive. And I'm not blowing smoke up your butt. I'm telling you, it feels that way. Yeah, so let's stay positive. All is well. Live in the higher realms. Take it to the higher level. Yeah, so hopefully that explains it a little bit more. And I will put a link into the birth chart. And if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to respond in the comments about this. And I know there's a bunch of people on the internet that are explaining it as well. I just thought I would do this a little bit. All right. I'm going to do another video in the next day or two. Because tomorrow's Easter, I'm going to take it off and be with family and some friends. And so then on the 1st, I'll come back and I'll really work on getting some of these new videos out. And I appreciate you all coming by. And if you can, subscribe, share, like, comment. Till next time.